art student, Brian Proctor, back again with another video. All right, so let's get going with this one. I am going to continue to stay on the perspective subject. The last 3 videos, the last 3 or 4 videos were on perspective. And I got a few comments saying that, they were happy with the perspective because that's something that they needed help with. And I think a lot of beginning artists are going to need help with as much help as they can with perspective as well. So I want to do a video on doing objects in perspective. We did the characters. Now let's work on the objects, and I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. It's in my head. It's in my head right now how to do it, but getting it from the head down through the arms into the hands and on the paper, it always changes because, as I say, a perspective is like a math problem. You get a couple numbers, it's okay, but when you get a dozen numbers you have to calculate, it just throws you off. So the best thing about objects that we tend to draw, we have to draw, that we draw, are basically, majority of them are square or rectangle. And that's the simple truth, okay? Whatever we draw, whether it be, I don't know, just something, Brian, come on, something, come on. Here, whatever, what is a laptop? What is a phone? Okay, cell phone, whatever, cell phone, screen, whatever, table. This is just a box that you can see through, whatever, refrigerator, all of that stuff is just rectangle. So when you start drawing shapes, and you might have a refrigerator, freezer, somewhere like that, whenever you start drawing these shapes, you just know that they are squares and rectangles. The hardest part is making it into a cube, which is, some people, I've seen that some people cannot see. They'll do something like this, and then it's all off, and they can't get the cube thing. I don't know if that's an eye problem, or they just haven't drawn enough to be able to do that, but I may have to make a video on doing that. But it's all about what you see, so that would be really hard to do, because as in, if I need glasses and I take my glasses off and I'm looking at something, a video won't show me how to see it better. So, all right, so now that we know that most of the things are square or rectangle, let's add some to this. And I'm going to use this because it was there and I saw it. I just saw that I could use it. So we're going to do it. I wish I had a second color. Okay, so a third color. Most times when you do an object in perspective, it's going to be 2-point perspective. So remember, this is your eye line. This is where your head is, where your eyes are. This is what you see, or that word again, that you see wherever you go, turn, look, however, your eyes are gonna, horizon line, eye line, horizon line. So anyway, that wasn't part of it. Just do this. You're gonna have 2 points for 2-point perspective. If you say, this is point A, and this is point B, it'll make it a little easier whenever you start to draw something. Now, if you add another line like this one, could be C. So whatever points you may add, give it a letter or a number. So if I draw a box, so this is going to be below, and of course this is going to be above. I wasn't going to do above, but we will do that. So for a lot of people, if they don't know perspective and they're trying to draw something, draw your shape. And as I said, it's in my head, but I'm trying to get it out. But there are different things that keep coming in front of it that I'm thinking might be a little easier. Kind of draw your shape first. We'll see. I'm going to go with this. And add it to your perspective lines. Now I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think, if you had no idea how to do perspective, how would you first go about this? And what would frustrate you and what would make you not frustrated? So I'm trying to figure out what I would do for that. For instance, if you wanted to draw a desk in front of this guy, let me get a color pencil. It might be easier. So I don't think I have anything in there. Let me get a color pencil. Okay, let me move forward, and then maybe I can go backwards to that. Let's say I want to put a table in front of this guy. Table in front of this guy. Let's put a rug under him so I don't draw through him right now. So when you have your lines, when you have your points, now I have done a lot of editing to this, a lot of cuts, because my brain is trying to show you guys. You have your points. You have your points, okay? You have A, and you have B. One thing to remember is when you draw a line, and as I say, I'm still trying to make it easy for you. It's in my head, it just won't come out. All right, so we're gonna put a rug under this guy. We're gonna follow our grid lines and go back to last video, and then you'll be able to understand these grid lines. Let's say I wanna put a rug under this guy. This is the front of the rug, and let's just say this is the back of the rug, and the rug is like this, okay? And this is what I was saying about kind of draw it first the way that you see it or kind of see it. So you're going to work with two lines. You're going to work with your front two lines. So this is going to be line A. And let's get red. This is going to be line A. And this is going to be line B. So whenever you start with doing perspective, you're going to make your V. However, it's going to be the front of your whatever rectangle, square, and it depends on how far down you come down your grid determines how much of the top you would see. So for instance, because you know this is we're at the bottom, we're going to see the top. You're at the top, you're going to see the bottom. So if you don't want to see this much tabletop, it's going to be more flat, but you're still going to use line A and line B. Okay? Just so, I mean, you can continue to remember that, and you if you need to, just say, okay, this is A, this is B, which means it's going to go back to that line regardless. I might get my ruler just to make it a little better. So that's line A. Let's be colorful about it. And that's line B. All right, that's going to be the start of your table or whatever. And since I am here, let me do this again. Let's say this right here. This is my table top. And because it's closer to this horizon line, eye line, you're not going to see as much. And I'll get an object in a second. Okay, so this is my A line, and that's my B line. And here's my corner right here. This is my corner going down. Okay, up and down will always be up and down. Let's just say here, this Altoid box. Let's turn it that way. So you're above it, which you are, because your line is here. So it depends on how much you want to see the top. If I don't really want to see a lot of the top, when I draw it, it'll look like this, just like this will look like that. If I need to see more of the top, I have to turn it, which means it's going to drop down below that line. And we'll get into Panels, that's something else I want to throw in here, is panels, doing panels. So while that's fresh in your head, let me do that. So you have line A and you have line B. All right, so this is your up and down line. This is your front line. So if I want to put, it's hard to explain, the size of it. Okay, this is going to be this. Let's say this is going to be the size of the table here, right here. So this is going to go back here. This is going to be B2. Okay, so do this. This way you kind of keep track of your lines. That. And then I'm going to do an A2. So I say, okay, this is the width that I want on this thing. Table. Let's just call it a table, coffee table. So how long do I want it? Let's just say about like this long right here. Okay, this is how long I want it. And this is just your rough table. So I have my B line and my B2 line, or it could be B1 line, B and B1 line, whatever, just as long as you label it as that. So I'm going to do my other line, which is going to go to A. So you're going to have 2 lines going to B and 2 lines going to A. So this is as far as I want. So I'm going to put the pencil right here at that point, even though this is up, which is wrong. Put the pencil at that point on that corner and go to that. And you don't have to drag it all the way across. You just drag it across as far as you need right there. So that is, so if I come down, you won't see that leg because it's behind that unless it's a glass table. Let's just say it's a glass table. Here's that leg. Now I have my table in perspective. If I'm going to make a box or some kind of cube, then I'll need my A and B line again. So this is the third line. Let's just say, okay, I did this. How long or how high do I want that? And that determines, these legs determine how high or how short I want it. So let's just say right here, or this one here. So take the furthest point or the closest point, put your pencil here, put your ruler there, and turn it until you get to that point right here. And then just, just drag it as far as you need for that. Same thing, so that'll be B3 or B2. B, prime B, B. And you're lettering or numbering them so you know which point it'll go to, because before it used to, oh my goodness, it used to kill me about all these extra lines going everywhere. So from the bottom here to the point there, I'm going to go here to that point. And as you see, this one is not long enough. So we have that. Now that could be whatever you want. That could be just a box. It could be a dresser. There's some drawers right here. And every time you draw a line, it's got to go to your B and your A. You can do like this in the beginning and kind of like rough it, unless the line is going up and down. If it's going to any side, you have to do your connected points. So that's a rough dresser. These are your drawers. But from there, I would have to make sure that these lines, if this is the top, this is where I want, I'd have to make sure that both of these lines are connected to that point. And connected to the point, this line and that line. And as long as this top line is good, it should be correct, as in spacings and so forth. But if that top line is off, then your spacings for your drawers are going to be off. I'm just going to do the 2 and then up and down. And the same thing, if you do a building and these are windows and the building is this big, that's a lot of drawing. There's a lot of ruler using. So you have that. And this is far below your horizon line or your eye line. So you're seeing the top of your dresser and you have whatever books on the top of your dresser, or you have your drink on the top of your dresser, whatever. So yeah, I just lost that one. So, okay, let's go back up to this one. So this is the top one here. This is my corner. This is my B line, A line, and this is my corner right here of this. So let's remove this because it didn't work out as an example. So we have that. Too many pencils, too many headaches. We have this, and then I want to say, how much do I want to see? Now, normally you would have this grid here. So I could just say, if I put a table here, I put this right here, which is going to the B line, and this right here, which is going to the A line. And again, I'm going to say, how much table do I want to see? How much tabletop do I want to see? And I would decide by placing it on one of these grid lines. So we have that. We have the A line and you have the B line. So I'll say to myself, okay, this is too thin. If I put the line here, that's too thin. If I put it here, that's too fat of a table. So I would say, and you don't have to use these lines. You could be in between the lines. You can make your own line, just as long as it goes to that point. But I'm going to use an existing line here. And then, so you have your A line and you have your I was gonna say A2, A1 line, which is already there. And this is your B line, B, and this is B1. Okay, so if I put another one, it'll be B2, like, okay, so that's my tabletop. And you see the difference. Let's do this rug. Let's do this rug correctly. So we have your A, which is going here, staying on this line. You have your B, which is going here. You have your A1. Let's say this is the corner of my rug right here, but I'm going to put it on this line to make it easier. So this is my A1. It's going back this way. And then we have your B2, which is going, give me a B2 line, which is going this way. So then you have that rug in perspective. And if the guy is right, he's in perspective too. This was a rough for a thumbnail, so he's not quite in perspective, especially like feet wise. You know, he'd have to, every line would have to be going to that B. So now you see the difference between how much surface you see of this and surface you see of that. So if I did a small one here, I mean, if I raise it up into closer to my eye line, it would be like this. And I'm just going to use this. You'll see even less surface. So the closer you are to this line, your eye line, the less surface you'd see, the more it's going to tilt. The further down you are, you will see more top surface until you are looking straight down at it. So if I put one here, provided your lines are right, and as I say, this guy, he needs to be leaning more. This was just it was a quick thumbnail. So his shoulders need to be like right here. His head needs to be here. And his body needs to be like right there. I know you can't see that because the black lines, but trust me on that. This was quick. So you're looking down on this. You're looking down on all of them, but you're not seeing as much surface until you get way down below that eye line. So let's do this one again. So we have this and we have this. That's what I'm saying. If you know this is a corner, just kind of like draw. You say, okay, I want the table to be like this. Okay, that's a B line, that's that. Where is that corner at? All right, so I'm getting lost myself because perspective is easy, but it is so hard. And as I say, it takes about really a year of just studying perspective until you get it. But teaching it, that's another hard thing. So I'm trying to put a table here. I know what I can do, but I'm trying to explain the easiest way for you guys to do it. So you have this. The easiest way is to draw your table like that, or however you want to put your table. Have your grid lines, and then just basically straighten it up. Straighten it from where you have your grid lines. But I'm trying to do another easy way. There are several ways that you can do it, and I'm trying to think of the easiest way. So you have this is your top of your table in here somehow. Since I can't think, let's just do this. Let's just say this is how much of the table I want to see. Let's just draw a straight line up here. This is how much table I want all this in here is how much I want to be seen. So you take A2, this is somewhere up in here. I'm just going to go ahead and do this all the way through, not all the way across, but just enough on my table. Then I'm going to take A1, Brian, A1, that's A, this A1. Then I'm going to take B2 right here at the top. Hopefully this will work out. Because as I say, it's really easy, but it's hard. Okay. For some strange reason, I am drawing a blank. It is so simple, but I'm drawing a blank. Okay, this 1 point, 1 point. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. 3 lines. Find that. This line is going to go right here. This line is going to go right there. You have your perfect square. Same thing, and I don't know why it's like on this one I don't know what. Okay, let's finish. Let's draw my lines all the way through. That table's gonna be wide. Number one, I guess that's why it's messed up. 1, 2, 3. This is gonna be my third line. This is gonna be my corner. Going through 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3 lines. Corner, and again, it's gone. Remember what I said, it's like having number 2 plus 28, 2's over here, 22 plus 28 plus 105 plus 1,000 whatever plus this times that, and it just messes your mind up, and this just messed my mind up because it is so simple. I don't know what's happening with this. All right, this one, you have your eye line, okay, A, B, and this is bad because I'm supposed to be teaching you guys this stuff. Table's going to be right here. This is where my table's going to be. This is the front of my table or the corner of my table, and you don't always have to put it in the center. It could be over here. So let's do that because tables are usually not in the center. So this is going to be where my table's going to be. This is the height of my table. This is the front corner. 1, 2, this is the thing, 3, okay? So table, corner. 1, 2, these are the sides, right off the bat. This is the side, this is the side. It could be a fence, it could be whatever, a building, whatever. This is the side of my table. This is the other side. I don't want to call it a table, I'm gonna call it a cube. Up and down is up and down. And then 3, this is as far as I want. 1, 2, 3, right there. So we have your 1, should have did this in green. This is your 1, 2, establish where your corner is, and then 3, top. Okay, same thing here. Blue. 1, going back to the point, 2, 3. Straight down. Since these are connecting, when these connect, boom, right there, straight down, straight down, straight down. Table. It's simple. I don't know what is going on with that. I look at this in my mind just like, so yeah. Cube. So let's draw something in front of, I didn't expect this to be that long. I didn't want this because I want to do some other things as well. Using the lines, let's just say I want to put a desk right in front of this guy. Let's say about how high would a desk be? The desk is going to be right here. Kind of following the lines. This is B line. This is the A line. It won't go there. It's going to go in front of him, Brian. In front of him. This is his desk. B line, so that's going to be B2, this B, or this could be B1, the second one could be B2, either one, still B line. I'm not going to draw through that guy because the desk is behind it, like that. Then you come down, remember up and down is up and down regardless. How long do you want the legs or the side? Going back to A1 and A or B2, like that. Up and down is up and down. If I could erase that, then you would not see the legs. We have this. What if I wanted something over here? This guy's crooked. So if I wanted something crooked, if I didn't want everything in front, let's just say this guy right here. I'll say this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go up. Up is up unless you want to lean it back, and I'm gonna lean it back. and it's going to be like this. Say this is a chair, and this is too close to the line. It's something I said, when you bring stuff too close to your lines, it distorts, but I'm going to continue this anyway. So if I put a chair right in front of this guy, okay, he's going to sit down on that chair, which is like kind of distorted because it's really close, and my line should be straight up and down anyway. So this guy here, let's say I wanted to put a chair, but it wouldn't be right, it wouldn't be directly behind him. It's going to be on the side of him. So then I would need two more or different points. Let's just say, start out by drawing my chair. I want my chair like right here. That's not working because I'm drawing through him and I cannot see him. Your lines are going to have to go to wherever your vanishing point is at. So these two lines are going to go here, and these two lines will have to go. It don't have to be on this. It could be way off somewhere. So let's just say this. Where's my green? Where's my green? Say my vanishing point is like way off here somewhere. Just because. Up is up, but this is leaning back. This is leaning backwards. And then we're going to go to this line. So you get 1, 2, 3. Going that way. And then my legs are up and down, up and down. You won't see that one. You won't see, maybe you see a little bit of that one. You won't see that one. So this guy has a chair behind him that is not on the same two vanishing points. But it still fits in perspective, and you won't see the front leg, you won't see the other leg. So if I draw through this guy, this vanishing point is going to go way, 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 way over here somewhere, and I'll show you that when we do the panels. And this one, and this is going to go here. So obviously I'm not going to be able to use this paper for anything else. And maybe this other leg there. So you'd have a chair behind this guy that's not on your A and B vanishing points. I know I lost somebody somewhere because I lost myself somewhere too. So you don't really want to put anything right here on the edge of your points. You want to kind of keep it in the middle, somewhere here or here, because when you go down, like I said, this guy should have been like this. This guy should have been more like this. And I'll blacken that whole thing out. Because he's so far away from your line. I'll leave that head, and his arms should have been like that to fit on top of that rug. But the further you get, you're distorted. Not really distorted, you're just looking more of it at a down angle. All right, I know that confused just the hell out of a lot of y'all. Hopefully it didn't. Hopefully it didn't. Except for this thing right here. I don't know where this went. I don't know what happened to that. It's simple, but when you start thinking about it, I don't know. It gets crazy. Trying to think of the easiest way. I'm trying to bypass the instructions, the package of instructions, and make it easier so you can put that thing together without having to read the instructions, shall we say. So since I did that, you see how much top of this you see, and you see how much notch you don't see. And if I went way up here, it would be even less top that you would see to that, until it's almost flat. So if I did it right here, your table would be flat. That's just how it's going to go. It'd be flat like this. The tabletop, you wouldn't see the top of the table. And if I went above it, it would be kind of like this. Got to go back to A, got to go to B, and you would see the bottom of it. So A1, B, B1, and what was this other? B2. We got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is why I don't like perspective. All right, let's talk about some panels. Talk about panels. Now I was gonna get a comic book. Let me get a comic book real quick. Okay, Battle Chasers. Battle Chasers number 5. Mediera. I forgot. I like this guy's art. He would be in my top 5. Definitely in my top 10. I love his cartoony style. So let's just flip it open to 1. Okay, so here we have panels. Let's just say, don't try to read the story. Look at the panels. We've got a almost narrow rectangle here. This is wider. This is narrower. This is narrow. This is wider. This is narrow, and this is kind of wide. So let's flip the script. So you have a big open one, narrow, big open one, narrow. So the reason why they put like these are like really small, narrow panels. Now there's a reason why they do this when you're doing a comic book. There's a reason for your panels to be certain ways. Let's just say, here is my 11 by 17 page. Panel. Okay, so I wouldn't just draw these just like this for no particular reason. If you have a wide open panel, let's just say this is the panel, wide open panel. For that, let's just say yes, your basic panel, that's your basic panel. For narrow panels, usually that is more of a confinement, whether it's like this or like this. Let's just say you just see the guy's eyes. He's more confined in this little panel. So panels are done in shape, trying to get the sentence out for the reader to feel emotion. Because when you do comics, it's basically you're telling a story with pictures. That's all it is. So because they're not moving, you have to take each picture and make it as dramatic as possible. Not just, oh, the guy's leaning down and he's mad and he's gonna, come beat you, to death, because, he's mad. How can you take that one picture and you make that picture more dramatic? Even though it is dramatic, the guy's, he's down, he's mad. He's coming for you, just rough. Really rough, Brian, because you're losing it. Cool, see my 3 shapes? And the head is down, and he's like, gonna come beat you to death. Okay, so let's just say, oh yeah, that's dramatic, So what you do is you would take your panel shape to make it a little more dramatic. And you could do a number of things. I could do the whole big panel just to show this whole guy. I could chop it this way just to show this. I don't really need his feet, because the closer you get, the more your eye is drawn to that one particular thing. I could, because he's got both arms, I would try to keep both his arms out. I would do something like this in a panel, remembering that I need room for my dialogue if he's just not growling, but dialogue could go right here. So back to panels. Usually, let's just say this, we have this guy here, and he's right behind a wall, okay? And then you have the bad guy right here. The killer right there. So you kind of feel the more emotional like that, because you're kind of like you're trapped. You're trapped in this little thing, this little panel. He's got his knife. Let's say he's got a knife or a gun, whatever. And he's searching, and there's the wall. It's used for an emotional effect. If I did that, and I'm just changing, and I put it in a big panel like this, you wouldn't feel as much emotion as you would by thinning it out. Now, because this line is here, it does kind of like make it feel a little thinner. But when you put it right here, the emotion is like right there. It's like right there. And it also, if you throw perspective in there, let's just say I take a panel. Let's just do this, a panel, and then I put like this guy here. And I put him above this little guy down here. Let's give it a little bit more. He's looking up. He's like, what? You know, by using the angles, it also adds more of a dramatic effect. So even if I put this, well, when you look down on something, when you're looking down on a bunch of people, let's just say this is a bunch of people, I'm looking down on them. That puts you above everybody and above any feeling, should we say. Like if these guys are about to fight, and you notice what I did, all I did was an oval, put the head on top, and then my body like that. And that's another good way to do a quick upshot, but you're gonna still have to use your perspective grids. So, okay, let's just say, okay, this guy is here, and he's looking down at these people. He's on his hands and knees, he's looking down over the wall, or laying down over the wall, looking at those people. You don't feel any danger, even though these guys might have guns, swords, knives, whatever. You don't feel any danger. But if you put them down like this, like here's another guy over you like that. You're standing over this guy. Then you have that feeling of being small. You feeling like this guy's more in trouble. And then if you take that panel and you make it thinner, and then somehow you put these guys in here like that, and you put this guy's head here, that gives you that feeling of being not only smaller, but you're trapped in this little confined space that you can't get out of. Now, it's good to do the big ones. You know, if you're doing like, if I want to do my hero, let's just say, I want to do my hero. Dun, dun, dun. Here's my hero. You know, he's here now. And he's here to save the day. You know, that's cool if I want to do the big panel. But if I want to do something like talking, then I can do a regular mid-size. I can put the person on the side. He's talking. I can put the person in the middle, which is kind of boring. He's talking. But if you're doing a lot of conversation, it's good to always angle your people. Look at a movie. That's a good thing to do. Look at any movie with the sound off, even a cartoon with the sound off, and then you see how they do the camera angles. Here's his dialogue, here's his dialogue, and here's his dialogue. And that's another thing about putting something in the side, in the middle. You're kind of cutting your dialogue off unless you put him down here, but then he would be smaller than the other two. So that kind of takes it away from it. So always try to angle. But as I said, watch a movie, turn the sound off. Especially in the beginning of the movie where they show like the the panoramic view of the city. Somehow here's your city, you know, in Gotham City, 12 o'clock, whatever, you know, the camera pans through, and then the next thing it might pan in closer to a building. And then it gets right up to the window, one of the windows in that building. This is a window, okay, that's just a window. And then the next one, it'll go through the window, and then you might see the guy sitting at the desk. Here's your desk. Here's the guy sitting at the desk. Notice how I'd kick that perspective out without even, you know, no lines. And this is your rough, and this is what you do. And that's where I was going to go. Let me go here before I do that. Every panel, you're going to need those perspective grids. So if I do my perspective, it's going to be like this, and it's going to be like this, and that's going to determine where my eye line is somewhere. So it's good to have a grid. Always have a grid. If you're new to that, have a grid, get a light table. I know that's more money. Put it on top of that. Draw your like this one. If I want to line it up to A and B, I'm gonna have to drag it down, you know, or come up with my own line. So this one, let's just say this one is going to go to B. This one's going to go way off of there. And if I follow everything in that perspective, in that mode, everything would be right. So this is going to go to B. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to come all the way down. I'm going to go right down and basically kind of right anyway, because I'm so used to doing it that it's just second nature to me that a lot of it comes out right. I just hate putting all these lines like this, ruler lines. So anyway, where was I? And the guy's sitting at his desk. Got the big chair because he's the president of the whatever company. It's tie on. Okay, Brian, no detail. All right, so and then the next panel could be, you know, he's surprised. He saw something. Somebody, he's surprised. Huh? They found me. And the next panel could be somebody just crashing through a window. Here's the window. Here's the glass. He just crashed through this window. And the glass. Of course, you have your window right here, and then you'd have to do the angles. Now, let's say that's your basic layout. From there, you would say, before you do your final, you would say to yourself, okay, do I need to look down at this desk more? Do I need to look up at this guy more? What's the angle? Is it going to be more of a side angle of the window like this? Is it going to be more of a front angle like that? You know, if it's not going to be like the side, if he's going to bust through here, maybe I don't want it that much of an angle. Maybe I want to turn it more so I can see him come directly through, or maybe I want it just sideways and just pop right through there. Okay, so if I do that, what about my angle? Do I want him to jump through and my camera's low, so I want to see like the bottom of him? Do I want him to jump through from the top and see, the top of him? Or do I just want it just, like I say, just coming right at me? So those things you think about, and then when you add to your panels or your panel shape, it makes it more dramatic. There was a couple more things I'm going to say, so I'm going to pause this again and think about what I was going to say about panels. All right, still can't think of what I was going to say. So let's just take a look at this and see if I'm a liar or not. Make me into a liar. Okay, you have your splash page, double splash page, because you got your action. You got your girl here. I haven't read this story. I don't know if I read it or not, or since this is number 5, this is years ago. So we have a nice big panel. You have a smaller panel from the side. So the camera he's right here. They put the camera right here. So you're into the action. That was something else I was going to say. By placing your camera, people can get the feeling. Okay, so he's punched that guy. You're right there in the middle of it because you're on the eye line. So you pull back a little bit. So you're not actually into it. This one, they put it in a little tight area, and the camera is kind of like looking up, like she's helpless. Well, her lean and the angle makes it like she's helpless. This is a small pullback angle. So you can see the guys, they're right there. He's like right there. He could be talking to you because he's right there. This one, they put him like a little bit below so that this guy could be more menacing. And then he's up more than him. He's slouching down, so that gives him that look of being more powerful. Next panel. Again, long, narrow panel. This guy's mad about something, so he's coming right at you in your face. So it's kind of like, you know, you got to get out the way because this guy is mad. Again, we have this one. So this is medium-sized panel, low view. This one's kind of above. She's running. It takes you out of the equation. You're close to her, but you're above her. You know, you see her doing it. Then we get this shot where it's regular. But because you have this guy cut right here and just a little bit of her, it kind of puts you right here, face-wise angle. This is draws back and you're down, so it kind of makes it seem like you're helpless because you're far away from it. You're not really into it. It's like it's leaving you. They're leaving you. You can't help the girl. Over here, another thin panel. She's saying something. So it's like she's confined. I think this guy's got her. She can't do anything. Confined panel. This guy is even smaller. She's over here with room for the words. He's over here. He's got no words, but he's beat up. He's in a fight, or he's already not incapacitated, so he can't do anything. So he's in that small panel too, and you're right in his face. So you're kind of identifying with him to a degree, like he can't do anything, and she's in trouble. So, and I know if you're going to do comic books, you got a lot of comic books. So you kind of like look at that. So now this guy's getting all shot up, and you're below him. And I think the reason they put them below him is so you can see more damage. They did a nice little close-up shot, and you can see more damage with it. He's big and powerful because you are below him, but he's taking on that damage. Another small frame, close-up of the girl's expression. You know, you can't help her. He's right there in the center, you know, powerful. You're right there with him. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, I'm the greatest, you know. So then they pull back on that one. She's trying to get away. Another kind of tight panel and real close, nothing he can do. So Battle Chasers number 5, when was this? This is a long time because he stopped doing Battle Chasers, and I liked his art. It was more anime-ish kind of, but American style. I liked his fusion style of drawing. Really good, really good. He gave up that to do video games. He wanted to do his video games. I saw a special. Was it Joe Madureira? Strange last name. You look it up on YouTube. He's doing video games. I think he was going to try to do a movie on Battle Chasers or an animated thing on Battle Chasers last time I heard. I'm not sure. You know, it takes a while to do movies. So, a close-up puts you right there with that person. You know, you're right there in the midst of it. You're up in his face. You know, when you pull it back a little bit, it really doesn't mean that much. He's far away from you. You know, you're not hardcore into the action. You know, upper shots and lower shots, of course, what we said. And all of this, as I say, with this one, you're going to have to do perspective. This is going to end up being 1 hour. No, it's got a lot of cuts in it. There's a lot of cuts because I had to stop a lot of times. All right, perspective. Shapes objects in perspective, whether it's going to be tall objects. If it goes past the line, then you're going to do like, okay, let's just say this one's below. This is a box. Well, let's do red. This is a box or whatever, cabinet, whatever. Here, line A, line B, okay? Going up is up. So now if I go up above this line, I'm going to have to come down. Oh yeah, the lines are going to go up. This is line A, and this is going to be, if this is my up, this is my corner, and this one's going to come down to line B. So you're going to see the top of that. Okay, so that's something high that when you break that, you go past that line, you're going to end up doing that. So it's going to go here, and this one's going to go like that. This one's going to go here, and this one's going to go like that. Objects. All right, again, Let me cut this and see if I get my thoughts together and come back in a second. This is probably the most cuts that I have ever done in any video since I started. All right, recap. Bird's eye view, you're above. Here's my line. Here's my line. That's just a small one. Okay, here's my eye line. Bird's eye view, I'm going to be above. Worm's eye view, going to be below. So anything I'm looking at above it, it puts me away from the action, away from the danger. I'm a third person viewing what's going on. You know, I don't feel any danger because, you know, I'm a bird. I'm up here, you know. I don't feel anything, okay? I'm just looking at you guys. Doesn't bother me. When you put me down here, worm's eye view, you know, I'm looking at you guys. You guys are there. You're kind of throwing me into it because you're above me. You know, what can I do? Nothing, because I'm weak. I'm down low on the ground. When I put you right up close like that, then I'm part of this whole conversation. I'm part of this whole party, whatever it is. When I throw you even closer, then I'm feeling that danger, that more of that emotion, because like you in my face now. You like, help her. Yeah, I can't do nothing with her. You know, I'm just, you know, I'm just a viewer. I'm just reading this comic book. So just remember that whenever you do your panels, you do your roughs first. He's going to be this, he's going to be that, he's going to be that. Okay, so how can I make it better? How can I make it more exciting? Do I want to be part of it? Am I just a viewer, not, you know, not doing anything with it? So up and down angles. Do I want to feel emotion? Close, far back. Don't forget your perspective. Like I say, with this one, you know, opening shot, here's my city. This is the city. It's dirty and grimy, okay? You zoom in on a building, you know, whatever, Baxter building, whatever. You zoom in, you know, late at night, one person continues to work. You close up. You can even like see some stuff through the window, or the window could be just glare, whatever. Then come through the window, you know, sitting at his desk working on his papers. He has no idea what's about to happen. And then you can have a crash. The noise crash. He's like, what the? And then this guy comes through, you know, at the second. But okay, now timing, that's something else. That's a whole new thing. Timing, you know, I couldn't have crashed. Hey, what's that noise? What's going on? And then you see the guy coming through the window. It's just too long. It could be like this crash would probably have to go through here. Or you can have this panel switch with that one. He's at the desk, then there's a crash. And then you hear him look up. Then he can talk. What's going on? I'm on the 51st floor. You broke my window. That's going to cost money. You know, because that's timing. It takes a long time for him to say that. If he said all that in the midst of a crash, this guy would not be up in the air. He'd be down on the ground, you know, ready to stab the guy. So that's another thing in comics, timing. Like this, doing this is a slow timing thing. Pan across the city, or getting close to the city, getting closer to this one building, getting closer to this one building. Here's a window, going inside the window, seeing the guy at the desk, having the guy crash through, and his reaction. You know, you could just say, focus on this, and then he could be at the desk with the expression, you know. So if you don't have enough time to do these many panels, or you don't want these panels, you can cut out what's not important. But you can do the city, you can do the building, you can do the crash. I might have said that already. You can do the building, crashing through a window, and then put the city in later. But yeah, there's so many ways to do it. And somebody asked me about starting a story, and as I said in another video, I may have to pull out some of my old pages, the first one, and then show you why I started it that way. So 1 hour, 2 minutes, 49 seconds into it, minus being chopped up. So I'm figuring about 10 minutes of cuts, which is not much. So recapping, perspective grid, your eye line, this is where you are looking, just like when we were looking at some of these pictures. Let's just say, where's the girl at? This one. This is your eye line is right here in her face. Your eye line is a little below her. This is going to be a little below. This one's right here in his face with a close-up. So just remember that close-up, far shots. And then your bird's eye and your worm's eye. and your angles. Sometimes if you turn something, or what, I don't know. I'm trying to think because I'm trying to end this video. 2 panels. Here's a guy sitting at his desk, okay? Well, he's standing up at his desk because he's too high. He's too high up, and here's his chair right here. All right, now he's the balls. Here's the balls. The balls. Balls. Now, if I take that same picture and I angle it like this, and there's his chair. And he's the boss. That gives you a totally different vibe from that. It kind of almost makes it look like you are down below, but you're not. You just angled your picture. And if you can do that with a lot of things, change the angles that you may have already, then it gives you more of a dramatic sense of something. So if you look at those two, that's more dramatic. Even though it's just slightly angled, you don't have to have it angled that much. It's just slightly angled. So if you're doing a car, you can angle the car. This is just a get over beat up car right here, but that's okay. It's my tires, the headlights. If I angle that car just a little bit, or you can angle it whatever way you choose. Makes that car look a little more sportier because you angled it in that panel. So yeah, just think about that. Here's my road, or here's my ground, here's my ground. Guy could be getting in the car. But just think about those things when you're doing your comic books. So I don't want to recap again, just rewind it and then see what I said as I mumbled through it. So that's going to be it for this video. I know it's not going to go up today, and the day is the day that it's supposed to go up because I have no thumbnail, no idea what I'm going to do for thumbnail. And hopefully you got something. If not, leave me a comment. Say, well, what about this or what about that? Or you may have missed that. And then I will get back to you. Pull that up. You can see that. I will get back to you putting this expensive comic book number 5 back in his bag. And maybe even help you with another video. So I'm going to leave perspective for now, and I'm going to get back on my action positions, to help you guys do the bodies. But as I said, if it's something you want to see that's going to help a lot of people, don't say, hey, show me how to draw Batman or Superman, or show me how to do this one thing just for me personally. But if it's something that helps a lot of people, then I'll make a video from it. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. And if you stayed to see my finger at the end, you're on your way to becoming a great artist. All right, so what's my saying? If you're not having fun doing it, then it's not fun to do. Keep drawing.